Hello everybody, welcome to Manar Academy. I am Mr. Muhammad Umran, English instructor for Manar Academy. Today I am here just to give you an overall idea of all the English programs offered by the Academy. But first, before beginning or before saying anything, let me consider some questions. Have you ever dreamed to travel abroad? Have you ever dreamed to get a high-paid job? Have you ever dreamed to be a member in an international company? Have you ever dreamed to understand an English movie without translation? Have you ever dreamed to be able to speak English fluently in front of a group? If you have all these dreams, and Manar Academy is the best place where you can achieve all of these dreams. But first of all, I'd like here to begin by talking about the English programs by considering the first English program offered by the Academy, which is the General English courses. The General English courses here include 18 levels. These 18 levels here are divided into 6 stages as following. The first stage here is the stage of the introductory, stage of elementary, intermediate, the upper intermediate, the pre-advanced, and finally the advanced stage. But now I'm going to answer a question. I'm sure that this question now comes to your mind. Yeah, now you ask yourself, how do teachers deal with the General English courses? Or what method do they follow in teaching these courses? The question in other ways, what are the points the teachers focus on while teaching the General English courses? In order to be able to answer these questions, I have to consider 3 questions. The first question here, I say, why English? The second question, I say, which English? The third question, I say, what are the branches and what are the skills in English? Let me here try to consider the answer of all these questions in order to give you an idea of how do we deal with all these courses. Of course, the answer to the first question may be known for everybody. Why English? Because as you know, that English has become a universal language. If you go to any place around the world, you'll find people who speak English. So, if you go to France and you don't know French, don't worry. If you have good English, you will not find any problems in communication because even French people speak English as a second language. If you go to Spain, if you go to Italy, if you go to any place around the world and you don't speak their language, don't worry because English is spoken there as a second language. So mastering the English language will solve all problems of communication with people all over the world. The second question that comes to your mind is which English? So students are different in their qualifications. Some students are engineers, others are teachers, others are doctors, others are students, and so on. So everybody wants to know what kind of English is he gonna study exactly in the course. Now let me tell you, all of you ask, Mr. Muhammad, are we gonna study English for commerce? Are we gonna study English for education? Are we gonna study English for tourism and hotels? Are we gonna study English for industry? What kind of English are we gonna study in these general English courses? Let me tell you here that frankly speaking, you will be able to study all these kinds of English. Yes, mister, you wanna say that we'll be able to study all these branches of English during studying these courses? Yes, because we focus on English for everyday language. This is here the main kind we teach in the general English classes, English for everyday language. So, how do you speak English if you are in the airport? How do you speak English if you are an accountant? If you are a bank clerk? If you are a tour guide? If you are an English teacher? If you are a math teacher? So whatever your job, you will be able to speak English fluently because we teach you your English for everyday language. I'm going to talk about here is the point of what is the point of grammar. Of course here grammar is something very important we focus on while teaching the general English courses, but you know, we do not teach grammar in the traditional way, in that how the tense is formed, how can you make a WH question, how can you make a yes or no question, but in fact, we teach grammar in a way that helps you master English speaking. We help you use everything you learn to speak English fluently. This is here for the third branch, which is grammar. Now and finally, I'm gonna go talk about the skills of English. You know, skills. A skill is something that distinguishes you from others. For example, sometimes you go to work for a company and as a customer service representative, and you find that you work as a receptionist or as a customer service. And your friend also works as a customer service, but you are surprised to find that your friend gets a higher salary than you, although you do the same job. You know the reason for that? The reason for that is his skills are better than you. So, in English we have 4 skills. These 4 skills here are listening. The second one here is speaking, and the third one here is reading, and finally the last one here is writing. All these are skills we focus on each class while teaching the general English courses. Okay, I think that now after this brief idea, I think now you are able, or now you have a very good idea about general English courses in the Manara Academy and how do teachers deal with the curriculum they teach. Okay?